Hey guys, Crispy Bacon back with another build for you. This is going to be a PvP Titan build that I call Soothing Sunlight. If you're looking for a new Titan PvP build to try out in Trials of Osiris when it launches this Friday, then this is going to be the perfect build for you. This build will double as both a support build as well as a highly offensive sniper build in the Crucible. The main utility of this build, and really the reason that it's so strong in the Crucible right now, is that it provides us the ability to get one-shot body shot sniper rifle kills. Now again, just to clarify, in Destiny it's usually normal to get a one-shot headshot kill with a sniper rifle in the Crucible, but what this build is doing is allowing us to shoot our enemies anywhere on the body and get that one-shot kill, making it a lot easier to score that kill. The required gear to set this build up yourself is going to be the Lumina Exotic Hand Cannon, an aggressive frame sniper rifle in your energy slot, the Phoenix CRADLE Titan Exotic Legs, as well as the Taking Charge and High Energy Fire mods. Now there are a lot more specifics when it comes to gear requirements as well as extra mods to make this build really synergize, but I wanted to start with just the basics. The core gameplay loop for this build is going to be buffing ourselves and our allies with enhanced weapon damage through a variety of different sources, switching to our aggressive frame sniper rifle, and then one-shot body shotting enemy guardians. As you know, you cannot one-shot body shot guardians normally with a sniper rifle, and it's the variety of sources that we have in this build that are giving us that weapon damage that gets that damage over the top to get that one-shot kill. So how do we receive these damage buffs? Well, the best place to start talking about these buffs is Lumina. Lumina is a 150 RPM hand cannon very similar to the Thorn hand cannon that can be acquired through its own exotic quest. Lumina's main exotic perk is called Noble Rounds. Kills with this weapon leave behind remnants. Absorbing a remnant converts your next hip-fired shot into an ally-seeking Noble Round and partially refills the magazine. Furthermore, its perk Blessing of the Sky reads, using a Noble Round on an ally heals them and grants both you and them a weapon damage bonus for a short duration. What this means is that we can kill an enemy guardian, pick up the Noble Round that's left behind on the body, and then shoot an ally with a hip-fired shot which shoots out the Noble Round, giving both yourself and that ally a weapon damage buff, which can be used to switch to that sniper rifle we were talking about earlier, shoot an enemy in the body, and get a one-shot kill. What this means is that for every hand cannon kill you get with the Lumina, you and an ally have 10 seconds of one-shot kill body shot sniper rifle potential. And what's awesome about this is that you can actually hold on to those Noble Rounds for as long as you want, as long as you don't die. So you don't have to, worry about getting a sniper rifle kill directly after you get the hand cannon kill. You can save that Noble Round for whenever you really want to try sniping, shoot an ally, and then both of you have 10 seconds from that point to shoot as many people in the body as you want. Now this sounds really good by itself, right? Well, it almost feels like Bungie was answering my prayers. With Season of the Worthy just this Tuesday, they actually introduced a catalyst for the Lumina. With a complete catalyst equipped on the Lumina, every time you get a kill with the Lumina, the enemy actually drops 2 remnants, which means 2 Noble Rounds per kill. Now, you can understand how crazy this is, because what this means is that for every 1 hand cannon kill we get with Lumina, we personally have 20 seconds of one-shot body shot sniper rifle kill potential. And this doesn't even take into account the 2 allies that we're buffing with the exact same damage buff. So again, that's really the main gameplay loop of this build. And one thing I do want to mention is that I really suck at sniping, and I found that this was really useful, so I can only imagine how good this is going to be in the hands of a true sniper. So Lumina is actually not our only source of extra damage with this build, but before we get too deep, I actually want to talk about snipers before we talk about the rest. So the sniper rifle that I'm using is going to be a Trophy Hunter with lead from gold and snapshot sights, which definitely isn't a god roll, but I really do like snapshot sights on my sniper rifles. But the main reason that I'm using Trophy Hunter is because it's an aggressive frame 72 round per minute sniper rifle, which is the archetype that we need to get those one-shot body shot kills. If you don't have a Trophy Hunter in your energy slot, or you have another preferred rifle, you can actually use the Show of Force, Tatara Gaze, or the Veleta D sniper rifles. And any teammate who's benefiting from these buffs as well can use Bite of the Fox, Dread Adventure, Revoker, Show of Force, or the Silicon Neuroma in their primary slot. I did want to mention quickly that I'm using a Line in the Sand, which is a heavy linear fusion rifle, and this kind of benefits from the exact same thing as our sniper rifle, where we can, instead of just getting a one-shot headshot, we can get a one-shot body shot kill as long as we have the proper buffs. But anyways, let's move on to our exotic armor piece, because this thing is extremely underrated right now, and I think this build is going to unveil why it's very useful. Phoenix Cradle is an exotic Titan leg piece that can be acquired from any exotic drop source in the game, and its exotic perk reads as follows. Sun Warrior lasts twice as long. Allies who pass through your sun spots are granted Sun Warrior. Now this sounds pretty good on paper, but what does Sun Warrior exactly do? And for that we need to go into our subclass, which is going to be Bottom Tree Sunbreaker, known as Code of the Siegebreaker. The perk Sun Warrior reads, passing through a sun spot causes your grenade and melee abilities to recharge faster and your super to last longer. It also increases all damage that you do. And on Titan, to create these sunspots, all you need to do is kill an enemy with a melee or a grenade ability, or use your super when you're on Bottom Tree Sunbreaker. So when we combo this with the Phoenix Cradle, this means that anytime we get a grenade or a melee kill, or use our super to throw our hammers, there are sunspots being created that both our allies and ourselves can step into and gain ability regeneration and a flat damage buff to all damage that we do. Just like the Lumina damage buff, Sun Warrior means that our allies can step into our sunspots, gain 10 seconds of one-shot body shot sniper rifle damage, and we benefit from the exact same thing because we can step into our sunspots as well. What's great here is that we can actually double dip into these sunspots and get Sun Warrior to proc multiple times, each lasting for 10 seconds, and we can really use it as long as we want, as long as that sunspot exists. When you combo all of the Lumina remnants and noble rounds that we're getting, along with the Sun Warrior buff that we're getting from every sunspot that we create, we really have the ability to use these one-shot body shot sniper rifles throughout an entire match. Now there is actually one final source of damage buff that we haven't even talked about yet, but before we get into that I did want to talk about some stats and mods. As for the stats, when it comes to the Crucible, I always want to try to get my mobility as high as I can, so recommendation is that you get that to 100 if you can. Otherwise, try to max out your discipline, strength, or intellect as much as you can, because all three of those sources are going to be sources of sunspots, which means sources of Sun Warrior and one-shot body shot kill sniper rifles. So as for mods, earlier we talked about the necessary mods being Taking Charge and High Energy Fire, and there are a lot of other mods I want to talk about, but let's first describe that combination for anyone who's new to it. These mods are actually from Season of Dawn, which just ended, and they were gained from using the obelisk activities to unlock. They essentially allow you to charge your Guardian with light, and then spend those charges of light on various benefits. In this case, we are going to be combining the Taking Charge mod, which charges our Guardian with light every time we pick up an orb of light, and we're comboing that with the High Energy Fire mod, which whenever we're charged with light, we gain a damage buff. As you might have guessed, this is going to be our third and final damage boosting technique that we use for this build, but the one thing that so far it doesn't share with Lumina and the Phoenix Cradle is that we can't share this damage buff with our allies. Well, that is where I took this build one step further. I wanted to charge my allies with these charges of light so that they could benefit from the High Energy Fire buff themselves. And that really all comes from the Powerful Friends mod, which basically means when we become charged with light, so do our allies, as long as they're nearby. And the great thing about this mod is that if you actually combo it with any other arc mod on one piece of armor, I happen to be comboing it with Pulse Rifle Ammo Finder because it's an arc mod, it actually gives 20 plus mobility, which is really great for any build in the Crucible because you always want to be moving fast and mobility is extremely important. And to make this even better, I comboed it with Stacks on Stacks, which makes it so that every time we pick up an orb of light, we actually gain 2 charges of light. And again, you have to remember that when you have a charge of light, it does not actually disappear until you kill an enemy in this case while you're using High Energy Fire. So we have an indefinite damage boost that allows us to one-shot body shot sniper rifle kill enemy guardians. And it only goes away once we actually score that kill. And the same is true for any allies that are getting charged with this charge of light as well. So between Lumina, between Phoenix Cradle, and then Sun Warrior and Sunspot, as well as the High Energy Fire Taking Charge combinations, we are basically having this damage buff at all times of a match, which at this point benefits any weapon damage we're doing, even with Lumina, but again, it mainly functions to make those one-shot body shot sniper rifle kills possible throughout an entire match for both ourselves and our allies. As for some extra mods, I decided to throw on the enhanced small arms loader, which is from this season's artifact, as well as the light arms dexterity and traction for some extra dexterity and mobility, and then I actually put on remote connection, which makes it so that for every sniper rifle kill you actually get enhanced super energy, which is perfect when we're getting tons of sniper rifle kills in a single match, which we definitely are. One very important thing to note here is that this will actually not one-shot kill enemy guardians if they have 4 or more resilience, and that doesn't sound like much. It sounds like this is actually a pretty weak build, but when you think about it, most players are actually only running 3 or less resilience, because what happens is at 3 resilience you can kind of survive most of the important stuff. So most high-end Crucible and PvP players will only get 3 resilience max, and so this build actually surpasses the standard expectation that 3 resilience will save you from anything, and we can usually kill most guardians in the Crucible, so there's really no worry about this not working. Every once in a while you'll run into somebody that you don't get the one-shot kill on, but that is few and far between, especially when you see all the footage I've gotten of all the times that it did work just fine. But anyways guys, that will about do it for this video, so I really appreciate you sticking around to the end here. I know there was a lot of information to cover, as there always is, but I really think that this build is going to be a top-notch choice for PvP when it comes to Trials of Osiris this season, and I think that you won't be disappointed if you give it a shot. In the hands of someone that is a truly good sniper in the Crucible and Destiny 2, I can see this build being a really fun time, because even me, who is a really mediocre sniper, I had a ton of fun using this thing, and I think I'm going to be using it going forward. If you want to see more from me, make sure to check the description to see all the different places you can find me at, and make sure to join up on the Discord. We have a great community over there, and we love talking about builds and Destiny 2 in general, and we'd love to have you. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and have a good one.
We thank you, Guardian, and we will never forget.